For his second feature, Lucas went back to his first love, fast cars and rock and roll.
Come on, boy, let's go. Prove it.
Drawing upon his gasoline-fueled youth in Modesto, Lucas created a highly personal remembrance of high school's end, with a group of friends facing an uncertain future, echoing a theme that pervades much of Lucas's work. Several of the characters find themselves struggling with the choice to break away from the prison of their small town and begin their adult lives.
Listen, I don't think I'm gonna be going tomorrow.
Come on, what are you talking about?
Well, I was thinking I could wait a year, you know, go to city for a while.
You chicken thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
After all we went through to get accepted, we're finally getting out of this turkey town, and now you want to crawl back into your cell, right? You want to end up like John. You just can't stay 17 forever. You've got to get that through your head.
I just need some time.
I had to go talk to Lori. Now take it. Take it. Now, we're leaving in the morning, all right? We're leaving in the morning.
All the stories were true. You know, I knew that guy. You know, that was me.
Each one of those four people is some aspect of George. He is the hot rod kid. He is the kid who left Modesto. He is the son of the small town businessman.
Everybody tried to make those pictures, you know, that kind of picture, but they didn't, because somehow they saw something else. They didn't see what George saw and lived. George lived it too, there's no question about it.
Though the film plays like an entertaining romp, it broke new ground in several ways, not least of which was its innovative use of popular songs rather than an orchestral score.
I thought of it as a kind of montage of music and cruising at the same time, because music is very important in cruising.
George was very intimately connected to the songs that were used on that soundtrack. They all had a particular meaning for him.
I did write the screenplay listening to music, and I would fit the music to the scene and write the scene.
16 candles.
Had anyone ever scored a movie from popular songs? What a great idea. Let's take this music and build the movie around it.
I don't think any movie had ever done that before. That became kind of the way many, many films were scored thereafter.
One of the reasons nobody would do the movie in terms of studios is that there's way too much music in this thing. They said you can't make a movie like that. You know, it's just a musical montage. There's no characters, and it's just like, it won't work.
Eventually, Universal Pictures expressed an interest in the film on one condition.
They said, you're going to have to get some name attached to this movie. And I said, well, but it's all about kids. I can't get a name attached. You know, they're all kids. He said, well, a name producer would work. And they gave me a list of about 10 producers, and of course Francis's name was on it because he just finished The Godfather, and he was like the hottest thing in Hollywood. And so I went and asked Francis if he'd produce it, and he said, yeah.
I loved American Graffiti right from when I read the script. One of the few regrets I have is that I got talked out of financing American Graffiti, because I believed in it and very much.
With American Graffiti essentially complete, the filmmakers decided it was time to show the movie to an audience.
Francis and George set up a major screening of American Graffiti at the North Point Theater in San Francisco with a regular civilian audience, lots of kids, teenagers, the prime audience for the movie.
The North Point Theater was full. That was a very, very big theater.
And I invited the studio to come and see the picture.
It was one of those moments where the audience is so exhilarated that by the end of the film, everyone is kind of high.
The movie played like gangbusters. I mean, you just got every laugh. You could just feel the audience loving this movie.
I loved it, and I thought the audience loved it, and I was shocked that the executive from Universal came up to me with a very glum face, sort of saying like, well, what are we going to do? And I said, what are you going to do? I said, it's great. People love it. It's full of life. It's full of wonderful characters, wonderful acting. What are you talking about?
We expected him to be all over us with congratulations and great job. He had a long face. This is a very disappointed George.
The studio executives simply hated the movie and said it wasn't fit to show an audience.
The gentleman said, it doesn't matter to me how it played now in front of this group. My point is that I don't see the work. You were given our notes and you were responsible for making these changes, and I don't see the work. I'm not happy. And Francis saying, weren't you seated in this theater when this audience went absolutely crazy?
Francis just went off on him.
And I said, look, I'll buy the film for you right now. How much, what do you have in it? I knew what he had in it. And I said, I'll write a check. I had the dough.
And of course that frightened him quite a bit.
And, well, no, that's not possible. And I remember remember the words. I said, you should get down on your knees and thank this young man for what he's just done for your career.
From there on, a lot of trouble started because they wanted to recut it.
And indeed, they did take it and recut it and work on it, which caused George no end of distress.
And that only built George's resolve, I think, about what Hollywood was made of. That here, I'm giving you what you want, a crowd pleaser, and yet you still won't let me have my moment. You will not appreciate what the artist does. You're going to want to have the controlling hand, the whip hand, the money hand.
American Graffiti went on to earn over $100 million at the box office on a budget of well under $1 million. It remains arguably the most successful film of all time, based on its cost-to-profit ratio. George Lucas vowed to never again be subject to Hollywood's whim. The success of his movies bought him his freedom.